are coming to thy inheritance. They have defiled thy holy temple. They have made Jerusalem into heaps.
They have given the dead bodies of thy servants to be food unto the fowls of the heavens, the flesh of thy holy ones unto the beasts of the earth.
They have shed their blood like water round about Jerusalem, with none to bury them.
We are become a taunt to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us.
How long, O Yah, wilt thou be angry forever? How long will thy jealousy burn like fire?
Pour out thy wrath upon the nations that know thee not, and upon the kingdoms that call not upon thy name.
For they have devoured Yaakov and laid waste his habitation.
Remember not against us the iniquities of our forefathers. Let thy compassion speedily come to meet us, for we are brought very low.
Help us, O Yah, of our salvation, for the sake of the glory of thy name, and deliver us and forgive our sins for thy name's sake.
Wherefore should the nations say, where is their power? Let the avenging of thy servants' blood that is shed be made known among the nations in our sight.
Let the groaning of the prisoners come before thee. According to the greatness of thy power, set free those that are appointed to death.
And render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach wherewith their reproach thee, O Yah.
So we that are thy people in the flock of thy pasture will give thee thanks forever. We will tell of thy praise to all generations.
Hallelujah.
Once again, thanking the Most High for the life on this holy Shabbat day. Sometimes we think of the dangers that befall us, that come near to us, and we say it's coincidence that we got out of it, or we escaped it, or we passed by and see a car smashed in, and you hear on the news 2 people passed, and we come every week, we may take it for granted, but the Most High has surely been merciful unto us and keep us safely. If we fly one place to another, or we drive or leave this building and go to our homes and get back safely, the Most High has surely been grateful to us, and asking if He will continue to bless us, bless our children, bless our family, those who know Him as well as those who do not know Him. I continually give thanks and praise to Him, for He is surely great power and highly to be praised. Hallelujah.
We're going to ask our sister Debarim Afternoon to read for us the 121st Psalm. Let us welcome her. Hallelujah.
The 21st Psalm. I will lift up mine eyes unto the mountain. From whence shall my help come?
My help cometh from Jehovah, who made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold, he that keepeth Israel doth neither slumber nor sleep.
Jehovah is thy keeper. Jehovah is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night.
Jehovah shall keep thee from all evil. He shall keep thy soul.
Jehovah shall guard thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and forever.
Torah for the reading of the psalm, Torah for the words, all of the words that are spoken today, and just reading this last line. This has been my prayer throughout the weeks. Jehovah shall keep thee from all evil, not so much the evil from the outside, but the evil on the inside, and keep us from, not having the right thoughts, and and doing the right things, and ultimately keeping our soul. Prayer. Shabbat shalom.
Let us welcome before Eliel, is he here, to read for us the 124th Psalm. Hallelujah.
And read the 124th Psalm. If it had not been Jehovah who was for us, let Israel now say,
If it had not been Jehovah who was for us, when men rose up against us,
and they had swallowed us up alive when their wrath was kindled against us,
then the waters had overwhelmed us, the stream had gone over our soul.
Then the proud waters had gone over our soul.
Blessed be Jehovah, who hath not given us as a prey to their teeth.
Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken, and we are escaped.
Our help is in the name of Jehovah, who made heaven and earth.
So that we are all here today, and that I am allowed to see all of you today. And so for allowing us to even see another Shabbat day and allowing nobody to be hurt as they're traveling. We were totally God peace and everything. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Let us welcome Micaiah to read for us the 148th Psalm.
Shabbat shalom. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise ye Jehovah from the heavens, praise him in the heights.
Praise him, all his angels. Praise him, all his hosts.
Praise ye him, sun and moon, praise him, all ye stars of light.
Praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that are above the heavens.
Let them praise the name of Jehovah, for he commanded and they were created.
He hath also established them forever and ever. He hath made a decree which shall not be transgressed.
Praise Jehovah from the earth, ye sea monsters and all deeps.
Fire and hail, snow and vapor, stormy wind fulfilling his word.
Mountains and all hills, fruitful trees and all cedars.
Beasts and all cattle, creeping things and winged fowl.
Kings of the earth and all peoples, princes and all judges of the earth.
Both young men and maidens, old men and children.
Let them praise the name of Jehovah, for his mighty one is exalted. His glory is above the earth and heaven.
And he hath lifted up a horn for his people, a praise for all his holy ones, even for the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Hallelujah.
I just want to say I am happy to be back to see all these faces again. This will be a sad moment when I'm ready to go. I want to say Toda for letting me see another day of life and just waking me up this morning, hoping that he'll let me see another day the next day. Hallelujah.
Giving thanks to Yah for all of the psalmists, for the words that he's allowed you all to share with us. It's just amazing looking at Micaiah come back. She just seemed like she's matured so much. Everybody that I speak to said the same thing pretty much. And I'm glad that the Creator is allowing her to grow, to be the young lady that she is. May Yah continue to strengthen each and every one of our young daughters, our young males in his path. May he groom and guide us and keep us strong in this way. Cohane mentioned the fact that we take for granted sometimes the fact that we're able to just go out and come in safely, and it just reminds me of an incident this past week, just talking to a woman on one of the jobs that I was on, and she was asking me, did I know somebody who works for the same company that I work for that was in a tragic accident that ended in him losing his life? And I was like, no, I didn't hear of it. And she just started just speaking of the whole graphic incident and the fact that she just happened to be passing by in a vehicle. It was an accident that took place on a highway. And this guy, he got into an accident with a tractor trailer, and lost his life instantly. She came up on the scene and happened to see his body just hanging there and him taking his last breath. And she was just mentioning that it was a sight that she would never forget for the rest of her life. She said that was the first time she ever witnessed somebody just taking their last breath and then just going. And I just thought about it, considering myself, how I travel on these highways all the time. That could have easily been any one of us, but the Creator it is that's protecting us as we go out and come in. He's watching over us. He's allowing us to have those situations take place where we just missed something, but we missed it. And to Yah's mercy, we were protected, and He shields us from these incidents, ensuring that we're all kept safe. And so on days like this, we have to understand that this is the time that you take that moment to think about what the Creator put you through, what Yah continues to help you along the way with, how many times over and over again He's answering your prayers. To our children, when you go to school, before you leave out, I'm pretty sure your parents have you saying prayers. Think about the fact that the Most High is watching over you and protecting you when you're traveling in that school bus. I know you've heard of times when the school bus driver got into an accident. That bus could have been your bus. So don't take for granted the fact that you left out in the same bus and got back home safely. Thank the Creator every time you step in and out of that bus safely and nothing happened. Say, Todah Yah for bringing me home safely and for taking this bus driver to and fro and protecting us as we went along these dangerous streets. These are the moments that you acknowledge the Creator and give thanks to Him. On days like this, when we stand up and sing songs and say prayers, this is your opportunity to thank Yah and show Him your appreciation and your gratitude. Let us stand and sing some songs and praise to Yah before going into the afternoon portion of our services, which would be some history that we're going to go into. We're going to start off with the chant, I woke up this morning with my mind on Yehovah. Because this is how I wake up on Shabbat mornings, with my mind on the Creator. And thinking about Him, acknowledging Him, praising Him, glorifying His name, being thankful that I have life to praise Him and say Todah Yah. Okay. Woke up this morning with my mind on Yehovah. I woke up this morning with my mind on Yehovah. I woke up this morning with my mind on Yehovah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Everybody, let's praise Jehovah. Everybody, let's praise Jehovah. Everybody, let's praise Jehovah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Everybody again. Everybody, let's praise Jehovah. Everybody, let's praise Jehovah. Everybody, let's praise Jehovah. Come on, Israel. Come on, Israel, let's glorify Yehovah. Come on, Israel, let's glorify Yehovah. Come on, Israel, let's glorify Yehovah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Come on, Israel. Come on, Israel, let's glorify Yehovah. Come on, Israel, let's glorify Yehovah. Come on, Israel, let's glorify Yehovah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I will serve Yah. I will serve Yah with all my soul. I will serve Yah with all my soul. I will serve Yah with all my soul. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I will serve Yah with all my soul. I will serve Yah with all my soul. I will serve Yah with all my soul. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. If you love Yah, if you love Yah, say hallelujah. If you love Yah, say hallelujah. If you love Yah, say hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Come on, brothers.
Let's slow it down a little bit. Blessed be the day of the Shabbat. Blessed be the joy that it brings. Blessed be the Yahweh Father, who gives us everything. Blessed be the joy and the worship. Things that is like none. Blessed be the Yahweh Father, for He is the Most High, and Yahweh is His name. Take it out, drummer, take it out. Take it down. We're going to do something. We're going to sing that chant over, and first we're going to start on the brother's side. And let's hear the brothers' voices. How you feel about blessing the day of the Shabbat and praising and glorifying the name of Yah. Let's go, brothers. Sing out. Blessed be the day of the Shabbat. Blessed be the joy that it brings. There we go. Who gives us everything. And blessed be the joy of the working. Come on, brothers. Things that enlighten our lives. Blessed be the Yahweh Father. Who gives. There you go, say. And Yahweh is His name. Sister, let's hear you. Blessed be the day of the Shabbat. There we go. Blessed be the Yahweh Father, who gives us everything. Blessed be the joy and the worship, the things that enlighten our lives. Blessed be the Yahweh Father, for He is the Most High, and Yahweh is His name. Come on, Yahweh, and Yahweh is His name. What's His name? 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 Yahweh is His name. And Yahweh is His name. Let's get the 6-8 going. Let's get the 6-8 going. This day we pray to Yah, our holy King, because we know Yah, He reigns on high forever. Yahweh, He will in song and dance. We come to praise His name. Yah is so, He's so wonderful, merciful, lovable. Yah with so much joy. We rejoice before you, Yah. We will shout, we will sing, we will pray and plead and cry aloud. We shout, we sing, we pray, oh, we plead to you. We cry, we call unto Jehovah, 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 Jehovah. We shout, we sing, we pray, Jehovah, we plead to you. We cry, we call unto Jehovah, 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 Jehovah. We shout, we sing, we we praise, we sing, we cry, we fall unto you, Yah. We shout, we sing, we believe, we cry, we fall unto you, Yah. We shout, we sing, we pray, Jehovah, we please, we cry, we call unto Jehovah, 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 we shout, we sing, we pray, Jehovah, we please, we cry, we call unto Jehovah, 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 we shout, we sing, we pray, we cry, we fall unto you, Yah. We shout, we sing, we believe, we cry, we fall unto you, Yah. We shout, we sing, we pray, Jehovah, we plead to you, we cry, we call unto Jehovah, 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 this day we pray to Yah, our holy King, because we know God we reign on high forever. Yahweh, we will in song and dance. We come to praise His name. God is so, He is so, He's so wonderful, merciful, lovable. Yahweh is so much joy. We rejoice before you, Yah. We will shout, we will sing, we will pray and sing and cry aloud. We shout. We cry, we call unto Jehovah, 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 Jehovah. We shout, we sing, we pray, Jehovah, we sing to you. We cry, we call unto Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah. Daddy! gonna praise Jehovah. We gonna praise Jehovah, 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 our King. We gonna praise Jehovah, 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 our King. We gonna praise Jehovah. Israel, let's praise Jehovah, 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 our King. We gonna praise Jehovah. Come on, let's praise Jehovah, 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 our King. We gonna praise Jehovah. Israel, let's praise Jehovah, 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 our King. We gonna praise Jehovah. Hallelujah. We're not done yet. We're going to ask our brother, Eliel, to come up and give us that Shema piece. Come on up, Eliel. Come on up, brother. Come on up now. These praises are to be shared. Let's go. Everybody put your hands together. Here we go. I can't hear the hand clap. Y'all gotta clap. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Here we go. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Echad. I can hear y'all singing. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh one more time, here we go. Shema Yisrael, Echad. Y'all ready to turn it up? Here we go, here we go. Shema Yisrael, Echad. Take it up again, here we go. Shema Yisrael, Echad. Here we go. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Echad. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Echad. Here we go. Put your hands together. Here we go, we're going to take it up, here we go, here we go. Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Show y'all, hey, we dance where we come from. Y'all ready? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Shema Yisrael. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Your time! Your time! Your time! Your time! Your time! Hallelujah! You may be seated. Yah is great. He is powerful. He is awesome. It is indeed a wonderful thing to see us praise Yah's name with one another as a family. When we come together, we cannot be stopped. As long as we stand in righteousness, the Creator Yah will always have our backs. The Creator has done something great on our behalf as a nation. He has left on record for us all the tools that we need in this return.
Yes, yes, yes.
He preserved our history for us so that we could read, understand, and learn from it. And so that we could grow and become a better nation and a better people for Him, a great power who is deserving of an awesome people to represent Him.
Amen.
Our history is something that we should all be aware of, know, and understand. And also our children, those of you that are sitting here, our Yeladim, young boys, young girls, it's important that you all listen carefully to this history that we're about to go into. Because this is what made and broke us as a nation and as a people. We had forefathers and mothers that were individuals with a positive image, and we also had some that had a negative image. And these things were left here for us to learn and know of, so that going forward, we could know what it would take for us as a group, as a nation here in this era to prevail, and what was our downfall back then as a people. Our SARS started off with our history a few weeks ago, and we left off. And we, the Order, Morim, and our Cohane, we feel that it is imperative that we continue this history going because we need to be aware, especially our children, of our past. A nation cannot move forward without knowing and understanding their past and without realizing what is needed for us to prevail and be successful in the future. So Yeladim, I'm going to randomly point to some of you and ask you questions, so I hope you're paying attention. Why? Because there are some things in here that you should know about and that you all should be aware of. And if you're not, when you leave here and you go home, you need to study and read this history so that the next time we come up and we do any history and we point to you or you or you and ask you, well, do you know who was such and such name and what they did? You would know exactly who that person is and what we're speaking of. Because when you go to other countries and you experience other countries and ethnic groups and their culture, they understand and know their culture. And you could go to things in their history and ask them questions, and they could answer you and also give you the correct answer as well. Which is why we all,
need to know and understand our history. The book of Samuel begins with Shemuel, a priest whose mother was barren. And I'm going to summarize it quickly so that we could get to where we are now. And this woman who was barren, she could not have children. She prayed to the Creator, and the Most High opened her womb and blessed her to have a son. She dedicated this son to the service of the Creator. And this son of hers, Shemuel, he lived amongst some other priests in the temple. What was the other priest's name that he lived amongst, Naeem, that he was living with, that was supposed to be his mentor? Do you know? Can any of our young daughters help him out? None of you don't know who the priest was that was Shemuel's mentor? Yes? Stand up and say. Shabbat Shalom. Yes, Eli. Very good. Eli, his name was. Let's give her a round of applause. She understands. She's been paying attention. I said, I'm going to ask you questions. And Eli was the senior priest there to Shemuel. And what was the reason why the Creator decided to remove Eli? Can any of you young boys tell me why? Yes? No, right at the back. His hand was up. Yes, stand up. Shabbat Shalom.
The reason he decided to remove Eli was because his sons were doing evil, but he didn't stop them.
Very good. His sons were doing evil, but Eli didn't stop them and he didn't reprimand them. And so the Creator decided he was going to remove Eli. And who did the Creator put in Eli's place? Could any one of you young daughters answer? None of you don't know who was going to replace Eli? No? You have to read your history. This was done. We've been over this before. Can any of the young boys help her out? Who was the priest that replaced Eli? Yes? Nobody knows? We've been speaking about him all along. It's the same book that we're in. Shemuel. Don't be afraid. Say it. Say it out loud. Shemuel. Shemuel was the one who replaced Eli. The Creator used him and raised him up in the temple to replace Eli because Eli didn't do right before the Creator and reprimanding his sons who were doing wicked and evil. What were some of the things that Eli's sons were doing? Can any of you Yeladim tell me? You know what this means, right? This means now you all need to be home studying and reading this history, because I should see hands flying up when I ask these questions. This is history that we went over already. And you all should know the answers to this. So parents, you see what's going on here, right? When you all go home, we need to go over this history so that these Yeladim could be aware of what's going on here. So when they're asked questions, they'll be able to give the answers. Yes, Aharon? Shabbat Shalom.
Probably because they ate raw food when the Israelites, when they tried to give it up to the Most High.
Yes.
Yeah, they ate raw food.
Yes, and they were having inappropriate relationships with the women also that were there in the camp amongst the people. And this is the reason why the Creator took their lives. And he also took Eli's life because Eli didn't deal with his sons and correct them when they were doing wrong. And so what happened is Shemuel or Samuel, he rose up and he was our leader at that time, teaching and guiding the people. And this point in our history where we're continuing in the 11th chapter, Shemuel, eventually what happened is Shemuel got old. And Shemuel's sons weren't following his path either, which is they weren't doing right before the Creator either. So the people decided they wanted another leader. They didn't want to have Shemuel's sons lead them. They wanted a king. Why did they want a king? Because all the other nations had a king leading them as well. And we wanted to be like the other nations with a king riding in front of us and leading us as a people. Exactly. So what happened when the people asked for a king? Was Shemuel happy with that? No. Why wasn't he happy?
Because Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Because his
sons.
Can any of our young daughters help him out? Why wasn't Shemuel happy when the people asked for a king? Yes, Naomi?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
He was upset because he knew God wouldn't want them to have a king because God wanted Israel to be separate from the other nations.
Very good. Very good answer. Give her a round of applause. Very good answer. Also, to add to what Naomi said, Yah is our king. And he took it personal because he felt as though the people, Israel, us, we didn't want him to be our king anymore. Shemuel also took it personal because Shemuel felt as though we didn't want him or respect him as our leader, and he offended someone. So in the 11th chapter, what happens is, before the 11th chapter, I should say, Shemuel, the Creator, eventually talked to Shemuel and said, listen, this is not about you. This is about me. I'm the one that should be offended. They're rejecting me as their leader. And so the Creator said, since they want a king, I'm going to give them a king. He told Shemuel who to look for and how to search out and find this individual. And that man was Saul. And so the Creator had Shemuel meet Saul, had him go through a number of incidents that allowed Shemuel to see and recognize that this was the man that would be selected as the king. And after doing so, Saul was anointed, and the Creator brought him to represent, to stand as our king, but he ended up going on off home like a regular person would. So the Creator had to show Israel, you know what, it's more to this king just being a king. Shemuel ended up going home, Saul that is, ended up going home and catering to his animals like before. So the Creator said, I'm going to cause an incident to develop to the point where the people are going to have to recognize this man as the king. So the Most High had the Ammonites come up against us. And this man called Nakash, who was the head or king of the Ammonites, he made Israel a what? He said, listen, I'm going to give you a choice. Either you join me by putting out one of your eyes, or I take all your lives if you don't join me. We were so afraid and cowardly and weak. We told him, give us some time to think about this. There shouldn't have been no time to think about this. We should have said, no, we're not putting out our eyes. Could you give us a little time to think about this? Consider this offer, this one-eye offer. So eventually, the elders went and they spoke to Saul, who was supposed to be the king. They said, listen, this is what's going on. What's going to happen? Saul said, I can't let this happen. The Spirit of Yah came on him because he was the one that the Creator selected or chose to be the king and lead us at that time. And so Saul did something to make the people come together to discuss the issue. Can anybody tell me what Saul did to get the attention of the people? This is for the adults as well. Children may not remember this one, but this question is for the adults. Can anyone tell me what Saul did to make the people come together for a meeting? Cain, Naphtali.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We did this history already, mind you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, what Shaul did at this particular time, just to kind of get the attention of the people, he took an ox, took an animal, and he cut it up in pieces, and he sent it throughout the borders of Israel. He said, whoever does not come out to fight and stand for the cause of this nation, this is going to happen to their livestock or their animals. So that kind of got the heart of the people and got them ready to come behind Saul and to fight.
Exactly. So that now got the attention of the people. You in your home and a delivery come to your home. A cow's head. What is this? Who sent this? Somebody else opened up their package, their delivery, the heart of a cow. They were shocked. Everybody scared. Who would send this heart, a cow heart into my... It wasn't even cooked enough. Just raw animal parts just popping up at people's homes randomly. It was to gain your attention, make you want to know who sent this, why they send this, what's going on, what's happening. So now, along with that, was a note. There's going to be a meeting at Times Square about this very incident and why you received this here animal part. Be there. So everybody was afraid, and if you're not there, we're going to be sending some other part to you. It may not be an animal's part this time. So everybody showed up, worried and afraid. Well, what's going on? What's going on? So Saul said, listen, we have a situation here. It's either we stand up and fight against these Ammonites, or we become a one-eyed nation. Everybody walking around with patches on their eyes like pirates. What do you want? And so, Israel, we had to come together to fight. But there was a problem. We didn't have any weapons. Can anyone tell me why we didn't have any weapons? Why didn't we have any weapons, yes? Good answer. God didn't give them any weapons. Came and shot her. We couldn't fight against the Ammonites because, remember, to go to war, you have to have weapons to fight.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So the Ammonites and the Philistines, the other nations, who would basically have gun control. They'd say, you can't even sharpen your pitchfork because we're not going to give you a file to sharpen your metal. You got to pay us to do it for you, and you're renting only, and we're going to come back for our stuff. So they completely disarmed the nation.
Exactly.
So we're in a situation where we can't just go, okay, get your guns, get your weapons, or whatever at that time. They were smart enough to say, we already had policies in place, so you are defenseless.
Exactly.
You got to pay us if you wanted anything made out of
Similar to today, we are relying on them. We're relying on these nations for our food, for all the things that we need to survive. We have to ask them for it. So, Yah forbid, we find ourselves in a crisis where we need something. If these individuals are our enemies, guess what? We lose the battle right away. And this is what happened at that time. We're about to go to war against them, but we have to go to them to sharpen our weapons. Hey, could you loan me a sword? I'm going to need this sword to fight against you tomorrow. And by the way, I need you to sharpen this pitchfork, because this is what I'm going to be using to stab you in the neck for this battle tomorrow. You think they're going to be sharpening our weapons today? Not at all. They're not sharpening any weapons. And this is what happened. The only two individuals that had swords were Saul and Jonathan, his son. And so now we had to go to battle against these people. But we had a greater power on our side. The Creator did something to gain us favor in that battle. What happened was, when we went to this battle now, we're preparing for battle, but we're afraid. We're afraid to fight against our enemies, but the Creator did something to give us the upper hand. Can anyone tell me what Yah did to give us the upper hand in this battle? Nobody? The Creator did something to give us the upper hand in this battle. No one knows?
300,000. He split them up into 3 companies.
Okay. And what else, Zaquin?
Then they went into the Ammonites' camp by night.
But there was something else that happened in these battles that helped us defeat these Ammonites. Even though we didn't have the weapons and we didn't have the manpower to fight against the Ammonites and the Philistines, the Creator caused confusion in their camp. He caused confusion in their camp to the point where they thought something was happening. They didn't know what was going on. And we just heard the turmoil. What's all that scrambling? We send over to check it out, and we see them killing one another. For whatever reason, the Creator had them go crazy. They just went mad. They start killing one another. And we came in on that. You know, Israel, we don't like to see nothing better than some way to gain an advantage.
Free access.
Oh, they killing one another. Let's charge! We took charge as though this was our battle all along and we were the ones that beat them up. And we defeated them. Now we have weapons. Now we have swords. Now we can fight against them on our own. So after we defeated the Ammonites, we found ourselves fighting against the Philistines. Then we became obnoxious. It got to the point where Jonathan, Saul's son, or Jonathan, he decided, you know what? I think we tough enough now. So he go over to one of their borders, one of their little patrol points, and he just attacked them out of nowhere. He go up there maybe with his little crew, and they attack one of the control points, and they leave out. So now what happens is the Philistines said, oh yeah, you all think you're tough. We're going to bring the real army out here. So they bring their real army out, and guess what happened to us? We start fleeing like little roaches. We run, and we have everybody now hiding in caves. We're afraid to come out. We're hiding in caves. We're ducking because we don't know what can happen here. At this point, we realized Joshua did something that put us in a tough position. He put us in a position where now these Philistines and our enemies have come out full force against us, and they feel like at this point we need to get rid of these Israelites and teach them some manners because they're getting out of line, and we have to make these slaves realize who their true masters are. Why did we find ourselves in that position in the first place? Children, any of you know? Because we strayed from the Creator. We went astray from the Creator, so now we found ourselves in a place where our enemies are at our throats, and we're trying to fight them off and fend them off of us and gain Yah's favor again. We're going to begin our history in 1 Samuel, the 14th chapter, and the first verse.
Now it fell upon a day that Jonathan, the son of Saul, said unto the young men that wore his armor, come and let us go over to the Philistines' garrison that is on the yonder side. But he told not his father, and Saul tarried in the uttermost part of Gibeah, under the pomegranate tree which is in Migron. And the people that were with him were about 600 men. And Ahiah, the son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brothers, the son of Pinchas, the son of Eli, the Cohane of Jehovah in Shiloh, wearing an ephod. And the people knew not that Jonathan was gone. And between the passes by which Jonathan sought to go over unto the Philistines' garrison, there was a rocky crag on the one side and a rocky crag on the other side. And the name of the one was Bozez. And the name of the other was Seneh. The one crag rose up on the north in front of Michmas, and the other on the south in front of Gibeah.
So this here point now where we are, Jonathan and his armor bearer, they looking over there. The Philistines sort of have us boxed into a certain territory.
Right.
And they realize that we're becoming bold. So they have to sort of box us in to keep us at bay and prevent us, that's Israel, from expanding or becoming too bold to the point where we want to now fight against them. Because they heard of the battles that happened, and we attacked them at one point and were victorious. So now the Philistines are like, listen, we need to send our real troops out here against them. So they set up garrisons. Jonathan and his armor bearer, they're looking out there and watching this Philistine garrison like, I think we could beat them. Listen, we tired of this.
Courage,
We have Yah on our side. Listen to what Joshua said, Yehonatan says to his armor bearer.
And Jonathan said to the young man that bore his armor, come and let us go over unto the garrison of these uncircumcised.
You see how they describe them? No respect. Come, she.
And it may be that Jehovah will work for us, for there is no restraint to Jehovah to save by many or by few. And his armor bearer said unto him, do all that is in thy heart. Turn thee. Behold, I am with thee according to thy heart.
So imagine that it's just two of them. Jonathan says to his armor bearer, listen, let's go up against this little security point that they have, because that's just what it was. It was a little security point. He said, let's go attack it. They can't defeat us with the Creator on our side. And his armor bearer said, listen, I have your back. Whatever you want to do, let's do it. So they make a rush. They just attack. And it threw the Philistines for a loop because they didn't expect nothing like that. Two men to just attack one of their security points.
Then said Jonathan, behold, we will pass over unto the men, and we will disclose ourselves unto them. Right. If they say thus unto us, tarry until we come to you, then we will stand still in our place, and will not go up unto them. But if they say thus, come for Jehovah, come up unto us, then we will go up, for Jehovah hath delivered them into our hands. And this shall be the sign unto us.
So they were putting their trust in the Creator. Jonathan said, listen, this is going to be the sign. We're going to go up and just show ourselves. Right. Let's say they all the way over there by that clock. We're going to come and stand up like, hey, what's up? Yep. What's going on? Y'all want some of this? You want some of this? What? You know what? That's what they were doing. They were provoking them. And if they said, if the Philistines say to them, well, come up, come. Y'all want some too? Come. Meaning if the Philistines say come and they want to engage them, Jonathan said this is going to be a sign from Yah that the Creator wants us to go up against them, and he's going to allow us to defeat them.
And both of them disclosed themselves unto the garrison of
They showed themselves because remember, prior to this, you couldn't find no Israelite nowhere. We were hiding in caves. When we saw that those Philistines come out in full force and set up garrisons randomly in different places, that's like when you have a crisis in the U.S. and you look up now and you just see a bunch of soldiers standing on corners with guns over here randomly. Everybody's afraid going out of the house. We don't know what might happen. Children, come inside. Come inside. I don't want y'all hanging out there on those streets after 12 o'clock. Just and such time, I don't want you over there. You see those soldiers with guns, don't go next to them. This is what happened. Our attack against those Philistines put them on high alert. So now they set up garrisons all around. And the Israelites, we were hiding. We were in duck and hide mode. We ran off into caves and everything. So now when they see Yehonatan and his armor bearer out there, look, two Israelites down there. What those Israelites doing now? They should be hiding in their caves. Hey, y'all come on up. But that was a sign by the Creator because that's what Jonathan asked for. If Yah said, he asked and he prayed, if they tell us come on up, it means the Creator is delivering them into our hands.
And the Philistines said, behold, Hebrews coming forth out of the holes where they hid themselves. Right. And the men of the garrison spoke to Jonathan and his armor bearer and said, come up to us.
Hallelujah. We rise before our elders out of respect. She continues our friend.
Come up to us, and we will show you a thing. And Jonathan said unto his armor bearer, come up after me, for Jehovah hath delivered them into the hand of Israel. And Jonathan and Jonathan climbed up upon his hands and upon his feet, and his armor bearer after him. And they fell before Jonathan and his armor bearer,
and his armor bearer slew them after him. So what happened here is when the Philistines gave the sign that Jehonatan or Jonathan and his armor bearer were looking for, Jonathan said, there we go. That's our sign. Y'all delivered them into our hands. So Jonathan, when they say he climbed up on his hand, he started flicking up there. These Philistines are looking like, what is this guy doing? Is he out of his mind? He goes flicking up to them on his hands and his feet. When you're getting on your hands and your feet, what you doing? Yeah, somersault, flipping all over the place. He get up there to them and he just starts taking lives. And his armor bearer now is coming behind him, slaying him right after him. As he passed by, the armor bearer has his back. They just slaying Philistines left and right now. And this here is going to create some ruckus between us and the Philistines. Watch this. Flip. Flips.
And that first slaughter which Jonathan and his armor bearer made was about 20 men.
20 men they slew.
Within, as it were, half of Pharaoh's length in an acre of land.
So this is a short span. In a short span of time, they end up slaying 20 people, 20 men, within a half acre of land. This is a short plot of land. They just got up there and they done killed 20 people already.
And there was a trembling in the camp, in the field, and among all the people, the garrison and the spoilers. They also trembled, and the earth quaked. So it grew into a terror from Elohim. And the watchmen of Saul in Gibeat Binyamin looked, and behold, a multitude melted away. And they went hither and thither.
So at this point, remember, this Philistine garrison was there, but behind that garrison was their main armed forces. Right. And so we were hiding in caves, just listening out and peeking and looking. Is the coast clear? What's going on out there? So when Jehonatan and his armor bearer, they come flipping up there, what happens is now it creates some confusion there. And the Philistines, this one little battle between them and these few 20 men, the Philistine camp goes into confusion because they think that what the Creator does is the Most High caused an earthquake to develop. And he makes this one little fight sound as though it's a great war taking place, which caused the Philistines to become afraid. They're like, wow, the Israelites must have found some help from somewhere. So they turn and run and they just start stabbing and killing one another out of nowhere. You see what the Creator can do, this power that we serve? Look at what happens. Tom Sheets, our queen.
Then said Saul unto the people that were with him, number now, and see who is gone from us. And when they had numbered, behold, Jonathan and his armor bearer were not there. And Saul said unto Achiah, bring hither the ark of Elohim. For the ark of Elohim was there at that time with the children of Israel. And it came to pass, while Saul talked unto the Cohane, that the turmoil that was in the camp of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said unto the Cohane, withdraw thy hand.
So Saul, he's asking the priest to bring up the Ark of the Covenant because he's searching for a sign from the Creator to find out what's going on. He knows that this is the hand of Yah. Yah is doing something in this matter, and he wants to know whether it's in their favor or whether it's to their detriment. And while he's there trying to search for answers, this noise in the Philistine camp is getting louder and louder and louder. He doesn't even realize right now at this time, Yah has the Philistines in confusion and they're over there killing one another. You turn around and thinking, hey, what you attacking me for? You slay your own brother. This is what the Creator can do. He can make people go mad in our favor. He can cause anything to happen when we standing up for right. That's right. He can cause your enemy to become so confused and become foolish to the point where, as opposed to becoming your enemy, they're helping you now. This is when we do right by Yah. This is the power that we have on our side. And it reads,
And Saul and all the people that were with him were gathered together and came to the battle. And behold, every man's sword was against his fellow. And there was a very great discomfiture. Now the Hebrews the
Hebrews that were with the Philistines as before time,
and that went up with them into the camp round about, even they also turned to be with the Israelites that were with Saul and Jonathan.
So we had some Israelites, some of our brothers that were moving with the Philistines. You know, this is what happened even during the slavery era. Some of our people were helping them capture us. Look, there goes some of them over there. They were using us. They were using us because they gave these individuals no choice. They said, listen, either you help them or you become a slave. You help us out or you become a slave. So we had some of our own brothers telling them where we were hiding at and our hangout spots. And this was the same here. But when those Israelites looked and they saw that Yah was working in our favor, they said, hey, this is our opportunity. Turn against them now. Just like back in the day, some of those house slaves, when they saw an opportunity and there was a rebellion, they joined into the rebellion. Because when it's all said and done, he's still a slave. You still have to serve them. But the hand of the Creator was in this matter here, and now we all came together for a purpose to defeat these Philistines.
Likewise, all the men of Israel that had hid themselves in the hill country of Ephraim.
So we're coming out of those caves now because we hear all of this confusion and we just look out. You look out your window and you see everybody running and going somewhere. Where they going? They got swords in their hand. Let me get mine too. You grabbed yours and you took off running. And now when we all get to the place, we look and we realize, oh, it's these Philistines. We have them on the run. Let's join in. So everyone joins into this battle now. And now we have one of our greatest enemies on the run.
Likewise, all the men of Israel that had hid themselves in the hill country of Ephraim, when they heard that the Philistines fled, even they also followed hard after them in the battle. So Jehovah saved Israel that day, and the battle passed on as far as Beit Avim.
But look what happens after we defeat them. This is where we always find ourselves making mistakes or making the wrong decisions. The man who's our king at this time, he makes a decision which is not the best.
And the men of Israel were distressed that day. But Saul adjured the people, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food until it be evening, and I be avenged on mine enemies. So none of the people tasted food. And all the people came into the forest, and there was honey upon the ground. And when the people were come unto the forest, behold, a flow of honey. But no man put his hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath.
Right. So Saul, he makes everyone vow and swear that they're not going to eat anything until this battle is over. Imagine this. You have soldiers that are fighting. They're tired. They're going to be thirsty. They're going to be hungry. You put out a decree as the king. No man is to eat anything until this battle is over. Until we've defeated every last Philistine. This might take all day. This might take 2 days. So what? Everyone is to starve. Now you have a bunch of weak soldiers and they can't even go to battle anymore. This is the decree that he puts out. But Jonathan, his own son, wasn't there, so he never heard this decree. And he wasn't there when they made this vow. They finished fighting and he's famished. You have soldiers passing out. You're trying to figure out how you're going to revive them. What's wrong? They all hungry. So Yehonatan, he looks up and he sees some honey down there on the ground. Maybe throughout this battle they ran on a bee's nest or something. And Yehonatan, he puts his sword in his honey and he starts eating some of this honey because he needs to revive himself. They're tired. They just finished fighting. And it reads,
"For Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath, and he put forth the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in the honeycomb, and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes
yeah, his eyes brightened because he was hungry.
Then answered one of the people and said, Thy father straitly charged the people with an oath, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth food this day. And the people are faint. And Jonathan said, My father had troubled the land. See, I pray you, how mine eyes are brightened, because I tasted a little of this honey.
If there was one thing that Jonathan realized from the inception was that his father had a little crazy side to him. And you'll see going forward how many times he mentions it here and there, even as it relates to dealing with Dawid. Jonathan said, listen, man, let me tell you something. My father's out of his mind. Ain't no way we can go to war for all these hours and not eat something here. We have to taste something. But what happened is, he swore in the name of the Creator. This could be the very thing that cost Yehonatan his life later on. Who knows? But here now, Yehonatan says this to the man. Listen, I'm hungry. You see how my eyes lit up when I ate this honey? If we all would have eaten something, we could have probably defeated all of the Philistines to the point where they no longer existed. Time sheet.
How much more if haply the people had eaten freely today of the spoil of their enemies which they found? Had there not been then a much greater slaughter among the Philistines? And they smote the Philistines that day from Michmas to Aijalon. And the people were very faint. And the people flew upon the spoil and took sheep and oxen and calves and slew them on the ground. And the people did eat them with the blood.
Why? Because they were hungry. See, now what happens is you have chaos and confusion. After they finally defeated everyone and the battle is over, all these animals there, the people just went crazy. You have a bunch of starving soldiers. So they just start slaying these animals on the spot, not even taking the time to cook the animals. They're just eating this raw meat with the blood and everything. And Yehonatan and Saul, they're going to get involved here because now you have to stop this confusion, but this could have been solved if you never put out such a crazy decree. You have all of these hungry men here, and they want to eat right away now. We finished fighting, now what? Some of you know how after Yom Kippur, how you be lined up over there. Don't act like this is nothing weird. You know, after Yom Kippur, some of the grown-ups be pushing yellow children behind. Get behind me, pushing them yellow deep at the back so that you can get a cup of water to drink first. This is what was going on. And they just finished fighting all day. Not just sitting around like some of us on Yom Kippur. We use every last bit of our energy to save it. Be hoping the Maureen don't sing as many songs that day. That's the one day you're not upset that they ain't saying Kumu. But be sitting in that corner. When they say Kumu, people's taking their time. Shivu. Right away. They say every last bit of their energy on Yom Kippur. And that's how they had a moment here. They were like, listen, now we can eat. If we can eat, we can eat. Can! They just started killing these animals and eating them raw right there. And it reads.
Then they told Saul, saying, Behold, the people sin against Jehovah in that they eat with the blood. And he said, Ye have dealt treacherously. Roll a great stone unto me this day. And Saul said, Disperse yourselves among the people, and say unto them, Bring me hither every man his ox, and every man his sheep, and slay them here, and eat, and sin not against Jehovah in eating it with the blood.
So Saul now, he sends out, the word got back to him from someone, who knows, maybe one of his captains, and they said, Saul, listen, this whole incident is turning out to be a curse. The people are out there, they eating this meat with the blood, they're not even draining the blood out of these animals. They're being barbaric out there. Saul says, okay, we have to do something about this. He sends out some soldiers or generals. We're going to stop this, put it to an end, grab these animals, try to put some order to this situation, slay these animals the right way, drain out their blood, and have a pot of something, roast an altar, put something up there so that we can start cooking meat and preparing meals for these soldiers to eat, because they are hungry and we cannot just tell them not to eat. He has to fix this situation here before it gets any worse, because what will happen is we'll bring a curse on ourselves instead of a blessing.
And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night, and slew them there. And Saul built an altar unto Jehovah. The same was the first altar that he built unto Jehovah. And Saul said, let us go down after the Philistines by night, and spoil them until the morning light, and let us not leave a man of them. And they said, do whatsoever seemeth good unto thee. Then said the Cohane, let us draw near hither unto Elohim. And Saul asked counsel of Elohim, shall I go down after the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into the hand of Israel? But he answered him not that day. And Saul said, draw nigh hither, all ye chiefs of the people, and know and see wherein this sin hath been.
So Saul now, he decides he's going to go up and finish the Philistines off. Because remember, they never got to finish them off. These men were hungry, and they found themselves in a situation. People just going crazy for this food. So after they defeated that group of Philistines and the rest fled, he wanted to go and finish them off after everyone ate. So now he decides to ask the Creator to find out, should they go up? And Yah doesn't answer. So Saul says, well, something's wrong here. Why isn't the Creator responding to us when we're praying and asking him for his guidance? So he now does something to find out what's causing Yah to not answer their prayer.
And Saul said, draw nigh hither, all ye chiefs of the people, and know and see wherein this sin hath been this day. For as Jehovah liveth, who saveth Israel, though it be in Jonathan my son, he shall surely die. But there was not a man among all the people that answered him. Then said he unto all Israel, be ye on one side, and I and Jonathan my son will be on the other side. And the people said unto Saul, do what seemeth good unto thee. Therefore Saul said unto Jehovah, the power of Israel, declare the right. And Jonathan and Saul were taken by lot, but the people escaped. And Saul said, cast lots between me and Jonathan my son. And Jonathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, tell me what thou hast done. And Jonathan told him and said, I did certainly taste a little honey with the end of the rod that was in my hand. Here am I will die. And Saul said, Elohim do so and more also. Thou shalt surely die, Jonathan. Wow. And the people said unto Saul, shall Jonathan die, who hath wrought this great salvation in Israel? Far from it, as Jehovah liveth, there shall not one hair of his head fall to the ground, for he hath wrought with Elohim this day. So the people rescued Jonathan, that he died not. Then Saul went up from following the Philistines, and the Philistines went to their own place.
So Saul here now seems to have a pattern, and I want you to pay attention to this. Saul seems to be a man of the people. He wants the people's favor. And what happens here is when he makes a decree, he doesn't think first before he's making a decree. He cast lots to find out, well, who was at fault that was causing the Creator to not answer when they prayed to him. Then he finds out that the lot falls on him and Jonathan. Then he casts lots again to see who was at fault, whether it's he or Jonathan. The lot falls on Jonathan. Then now he asks Jonathan, well, what did you do? Be honest. Jonathan says, well, hey, I ate a little of the honey that was on the ground. He opens his mouth and said, and you're going to die. And the people say, listen, Jonathan ain't dying. Okay, Jonathan ain't dying. Let's move forward. He's a man of the people. If the people says this, he's going with the flow. And you'll see what I'm talking about, because what happens here, we're going to enter the 15th verse. Before the 15th chapter, Slikar. As this chapter closes out, it just mentions the fact that Saul ends up fighting against all of the nations that had us, that held us in captivity at that time, all of our enemies, which were the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Edomites. We find ourselves gaining Yah's favor, and the Creator allow us to stand up and face our enemies to the point where now they decided to leave our lands. And they moved out of our territories. Now we have control of our own territories. They're still our enemies, but they realize that we're not the weak hearts that we used to be. And we also have Yah's favor, and Yah is fighting with us. So they stepped out of our territories and backed off. We now have control of our territories. And now Saul is being recognized by the other nations as a mighty king, because he's been leading us to battle and we've been victorious. It's to the point where now Shemuel is going to approach Saul in the 15th chapter and give him some instructions given by the Creator. And you'll see what I mean when I say he's a man of the people. His objective here is to please the people. If he realized the people like the color black, he's giving them the color black. The people like hanging out in the corner. Hey, everybody like the corner? We're going to be hanging out in the corner. But you have to understand that you have to be a leader for right. And when you stand for right, those that are right are going to follow. And if there's anyone who's against you and you're standing for what's right, the Creator's going to handle and deal with them. It continues in the 15th chapter in the first verse, and it says,
And Samuel said unto Saul, Jehovah sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of Yah. Thus saith Jehovah of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he set himself against him in the way when he came up out of Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling,
ox and sheep, camel, everything. Yah is saying slay everything. Don't bring anyone or anything back. Why? Because this battle against the Ammonites was against the Amalekites, was personal. Remember what the Amalekites did to us when we first left the land. When we were on our way to Egypt, what did they do? Can anyone tell me?
They didn't let us pass through the rear.
Exactly. They attacked us from behind where we were weak, our little ones. They didn't even care. They were prepared to slay all of us. And what happened is the Creator said, you're going to have war with Amalek, what? From generation to generation. So now this was an opportunity to get back at the Amalekites. So the Creator told Saul, he sent a message with Samuel. He said, I want you to give Saul this message. This is his first mission as king that I'm sending him on directly. This is what's going to determine whether his kingship lasts. He's to be given these instructions. Go and fight against Amalek and kill everything. Don't bring anyone back captive. Don't bring any women back. Don't bring any children, any animals. Slay everything. Saul is there listening. Hey, you got the instruction. That's powerful. I understand. You sure? You clear? I'm crystal clear. We're going to handle this. Let's go to battle. And it reads,
And Saul summoned the people and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen, and 10,000 men of Yehuda.
110,000.
And Saul came to the city of Amalek, and lay in wait in the valleys, And Saul said unto the Kenites, Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them.
Because the Kenites, they were living amongst the Amalekites, and this war wasn't against the Kenites. So Saul said, listen here, hey, we have a beef with Amalek. This has nothing to do with you. You Kenites, leave. Don't hang out with them today. This is not going to be their best day. It's personal. We have a situation with Amalek that goes way back. So leave. The Kenites looked around. Oh yeah? You don't have to tell us no more. Pack up your bags, Kenites. Let's leave. They grabbed their things and they left.
For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites, and Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah as thou goest to Shur, that is in front of Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep and of the oxen, even the young of the second birth, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was of no account and feeble, that they destroyed utterly.
So everything that was of no account, everything that was meaningless, that wasn't worth anything, they killed it. The good, the best of what was there, they kept for themselves. Was that the instruction given by Yah? No. But this is Saul and what he's doing. He gets there to some of the men like, hey Saul, hey, listen, these are some good animals. I don't think we need to slay them. Maybe Shemuel needs to see what's here, this wealth. This is positive stuff. I think if he see this, maybe he'll change his mind. This decree came from Yah. This has nothing to do with Shemuel, but they still save everything and they take it back. And they even save the king. The king Agag, the Amalekite king, they leave him alive. And it reads,
Then came the word of Jehovah unto Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he is turned back from following me, and hath not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Jehovah all night. And Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning. And it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he is setting him up a monument, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of Jehovah.
Shemuel, Samuel, he came looking for Saul after he heard what was going on. The Creator sent a word to Shemuel or Samuel and said, listen, I hate the fact that I even chose Saul to be king. Remember, Shemuel had a special connection with Saul because as a young man, Shemuel went to him, gave him all this advice, was trying to bring him up, groom and molding him to be the proper king. So it's personal. Shemuel is going to be hurting inside to know that the Creator has rejected Saul. But Shemuel, he's finding out and he's realizing this man, Saul, is not following instructions. He comes now looking for Saul. Saul done went across the street over there. He's setting up a monument. You know what he's doing, right? He's putting up some kind of monument to remind the people of him being king. A monument for himself. He's into himself. I'm a great king, yeah. Saul, you know what? You should put up a little statue over there and write on it, Shaul. You defeated these Amalekites. Yeah, you're right. Put it up. So now Shemuel, he's walking all over the place. Where is this guy Saul? Somebody said, well, you know, he's up on over there in Huntersville setting up that monument. So now Samuel goes up there looking for him, and he's coming up, and Saul see him coming. Hey, welcome, Shemuel. We done did what you told us to do. We done slew these Amalekites. Shemuel looking over there like, you slew the Amalekites, huh? You don't know the Creator already told me what happened here. And it reads,
And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of Yahweh. I have performed the commandment of Yahweh. And Samuel said, what meaneth then this bleating of sheep in mine ears?
If you killed everything, why, what's this noise I'm hearing? I'm hearing sheep voices baaing in the back there. If sheep shouldn't be making no noises if you followed Yah's commandment, Yah's commandment was to what? Slay and destroy everything.
And the lowing of oxen which I hear. And Saul said, they have brought them from the Amalekites.
He's blaming the people now. He said, hey, hold on, Shemuel. That wasn't me now. They did that. The people did that now. They're the ones who brought these animals.
For the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto Jehovah thy power. And the rest we have utterly destroyed.
Was that Yah's instructions? No.
Then Samuel said unto Saul, stay, and I will tell thee what Jehovah has said to me this night. And he said unto him, say on. And Samuel said, though thou be a little in thine own sight,
art thou not head of the tribes of Israel?
And Jehovah anointed thee king over Israel.
You're the king. You're supposed to, the people's supposed to be following your instruction, not the other way around.
Right. And Jehovah sent thee on a journey and said, go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore then didst thou not hearken to the voice of Jehovah, but didst fly upon the spoil, and this that which was evil in the sight of Jehovah? And Saul said unto Samuel, yea, I have hearkened to the voice of Jehovah, and have gone the way which Jehovah sent me, and have brought Agag the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites.
Like everything he says is getting Shemuel even more upset. He said, man, I did everything the Creator said. Look, I even brought Agag. Did y'all say bring Agag? He said, slay everybody. He doesn't get the point here. But you see what happens when your mind and you're stuck on one thing, you don't see and understand when someone is giving you good and positive advice. We sometimes have to let go of where we are and see and understand what the right thing is to do. And here now, Shemuel, he's just trying to defend himself as opposed to listen to Saul is trying to defend himself as opposed to listen to what Shemuel is actually telling him.
But the people took the spoil, sheep and oxen, the chief of the devoted things, to sacrifice unto Jehovah thy power.
He's still blaming the people. And Shemuel said, hath Jehovah
as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in hearkening to the voice of Jehovah? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as idolatry and teraphim.
And because thou hast rejected the word of Yah,
he hath also rejected thee from being king.
This is how he lost his blessing, by not following instructions. This can be any of us. Just not taking proper instructions from your parents, children. Yeladim, I hope you all are listening, because this is a lesson for you. Your mother and father says to you, go do such and such. You don't follow instructions. You're not listening to your parents. You could lose your blessing. And here, just simple instructions, just following simple instructions caused him to lose his blessing from having control of the kingdom. And his tribe and his family, the Creator is going to strip the kingdom from him.
And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of Jehovah, and thy words, which I feared the people, and hearkened to their voice. Now therefore I pray thee, pardon my sin, and return me that I may worship Jehovah.
So he's asking Shemuel to forgive him and come out with him, because for Saul, it's a matter of his image. Look at what's happening here. after a big battle or what have you, it's common that they all now go out and celebrate the victory or what have you. Shemuel as the leader or the priest come out there with the king and they all celebrate the victory. His image is, he see his image here on the line. So he knows Shemuel is upset and Shemuel is about to leave. So he's asking him, please, just do me a favor and come out with me before the people so I don't look bad, you know. And Shemuel is like, no, you did wrong. What you did is wrong. Please just, he's so interested and Shemuel coming out there to save his image, he doesn't even realize, and he's not even focused on the fact that he just lost the greatest blessing ever. And Shemuel, because Shemuel feels it for him, Shemuel is going to go out there with him. But look at how this takes place.
And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of Jehovah, and Jehovah hath rejected thee from being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his robe, and it rent.
Shemuel got upset. Now, you done tore my nice garment. This was one of the better robes that I used to wear out amongst the people. Just as you rent this garment, Yah is going to rent the kingdom from you.
And Samuel said unto him, Jehovah hath rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and hath given it to a neighbor of thine. And also, that is better than thou. And also the glory of Israel will not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent. Then he said, I have sinned. Yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders
of my people. Look, he's concerned about his image. And what? And before Israel.
And before Israel, and return with me, that I may worship Jehovah thy power. So Samuel returned after Saul, and Saul worshiped Jehovah. Then said Samuel, bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. Right. And Agag came unto him in chains. And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is at hand.
Agag saw the look in Shemuel's eyes. Shemuel said, they all celebrating and enjoying the festivities. Shemuel said, bring Agag out here. Because Shemuel is upset, even though he did Saul a favor by coming out there just so that it could look a certain kind of way before the people. He knew this was more or less the last good act that he would have done for Saul, because Shemuel know at this point that the kingdom's been stripped from him. And he know Yah because he's been dealing with the Creator for many years. He know when Yah makes up his mind, that's it. And he's out there watching them, but he sees Saul and realizes this is it for you, brother. When the Creator says something, he means it. But in all of these celebrations, Shemuel says, bring out Agag. The man's still alive over there. When Agag comes out, he look at Shemuel and he realizes, this man, I see the look in his face. Ain't nothing nice about to happen to me now. He's not about to raise his hands up and put no blessing on me. Because he could see just the look in Shemuel's eyes, and he says to himself, surely bitterness and death is at hand.
And Samuel said, as thy sword hath made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewn Agag in pieces before Jehovah in Gilgal.
Shemuel chopped him up in pieces. First he put a curse on him. He cursed him and his family, and then he chopped him up in pieces. Then Shemuel went to Ramah.
And Saul went up to his house in Gibeat Shaul. And Samuel never beheld Saul again
until the day of his death.
For Samuel mourned for Saul. And Jehovah repented that he had made Saul king over Israel.
So Shemuel now, this was his last act. This was the last act that Saul pretty much saw. And Shemuel, he left. He was saddened by this whole thing. And he now is sort of just going through a state where he's mourning Saul and he's upset about the whole thing because he saw himself as Saul's mentor, grooming and molding him as the first king. We're going to see if we could get another chapter or 2 in before we leave. Here now, in the 16th chapter, we find now that the Creator now is going to tell Shemuel, listen, you have to get over this. He's there sad, crying, shedding tears, praying to the Creator about Saul, that the Creator be merciful. And Yah's going to say, listen, it's over. I've made up my mind. Saul is not going to be king. I need you to start preparing to anoint the new king. And it reads,
And Yah said unto Shemuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Shaul, seeing I have rejected him from being king over Israel? Fill thy horn with oil, and go, and I will send thee to Yishai, the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. And Shemuel said, how can I go? If Shaul hear it, he will kill me.
because you think the king is going to know that you are anointing somebody else king and he's still alive? It means you plan on doing something to get rid of him. So Shemuel is not stupid. Even though he knows that Saul was his friend and his buddy, he also knows that Saul can be a loose cannon as well. And he says, listen, yeah, you know, if I go and anoint someone else king and Saul finds out, he's going to kill me. So the Creator says, no, I'm in this matter. I'll show you what to do and how to do it.
And Yah said, take a heifer with thee, and say, I am come to sacrifice unto the Most High. And call Yishai to the sacrifice, and I will tell thee what thou shalt do, and thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee.
So you better believe he had to make it clear to Jesse and his family that this situation, this whole ordeal, needed to be hush hush. So he told them when he went there first, he gave them the impression that he was just coming for a sacrifice and to say some prayers or what have you. So now they think it's a family meeting. They're happy because they're now being called on by a priest. And they also, not only is the priest coming there, but they also have the opportunity to meet the priest and speak to him. This is a blessing for them. Watch what happens here though.
And Shemuel did that which Yah spoke, and came to Beit Lechem, and the elders of the city came to meet him trembling, and saying, come thou peaceably.
So when Shemuel was coming through, remember, the last time they saw Shemuel, he just hacked somebody up. He sliced and diced somebody up, and then he just disappeared into the mountains. Nobody didn't see or hear from him in a while. They were having a big party. You know what it is when you're having a big party? Everybody enjoying the festivities, and there comes the priest walking in. Come on, shake me out. Come on, I know, come on. Bring so-and-so. They come walking, they pull out a sword. He just starts slicing him up, and when he's done, his robe is covered in blood, he just throw a hood over his head and go walk around. He leaves. You don't see him for years. Now all of a sudden, he just show back up, he show up again in the city. Everybody's like, there goes Shemuel, there goes Shemuel. They walked over to him. Come down peaceably? You coming in peace, or you coming to hack somebody up again, or who did something wrong? Was it me? Was it my family? What's going on? Do we have a situation here? So that's why they're afraid and they're worried, because they just see him appear after being gone for such a long time.
And he said peaceably, and I'm come to sacrifice unto Yah. Sanctify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Yishai and his sons, and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass, when they were come, that he beheld Eliel, and said, surely Yah's anointed is before him.
So when they all came, he said, yeah, I'll come in peace. I'm not coming to hack nobody up today. I'm just coming for a sacrifice. And I want to see your children and the family. So Jesse, he brings his family. His firstborn Eliel comes walking in. And Shemuel thinks this has got to be the one that Yah is anointed to be a king, because Shemuel is looking at their stature.
Right.
He's thinking it got to be something like Saul. Because remember, Saul was the tallest man at that time.
Right.
He was the one who had the king look. Standing tall, chest up,
Right.
not slouched over, nothing big. And so Shemuel was like, this got to be the next king. I see. Yah is going to say, nope, that's not the one.
But Yah said unto Shemuel, look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For it is not as man seeth. For man looketh upon the outer appearance, but Yah looked upon the heart. The Yishai called Abinadab and made him pass before Shemuel. And he said, neither hath the Most High chosen this. The Yishai made Shammah to pass by. And he said, neither have Yah chosen this. Yishai made 7 of his sons to pass before Shemuel. And Shemuel said unto Yishai, Yah have not chosen these. And Shemuel said unto Yishai, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Shemuel said unto Yishai, sit and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither.
So all of his sons came by. These are all the oldest. They came by. Mind you, a lot of Yishai or Jesse's older sons, they were fighting in the battles with Saul. They were a part of the army. So they all looked like warriors. And so as they were coming, Shemuel is thinking, it's got to be one of these men. They all look kingly. They look like any one of them could be the king here. They passed by. Yah says, nope, that's not the one. Nope, that's not the one. Yah didn't tell Shemuel, listen, don't look at the outward appearance.
Right.
I'm not choosing them based on their stature and their outward appearance. I'm choosing them by their inner heart, their ruach inside. This is how we're looking for the king this time. This time, searching for a king is not going to be like we did the first time, to gain the favor of the people, so that the people look on him and says, yes, by looks he appeared to be a king.
Right.
The Creator's choosing this king by his heart and his spirit.
And he sent and brought him in. Now, he was ruddy, and with all of beautiful eyes, and goodly to look upon.
So David or David, he was out there, he's out there tending to the sheep. He was the shepherd. And he comes in a little rough looking, you know how the shepherd, he ain't gonna come in here dressed all neat. He come over, we got a meeting over here. Dusting off some dirt or something. Okay, Abby, what you said, you needed to speak to me?
Yeah.
The priest in there looking on him like, oh my goodness. Here comes David. He didn't even dress properly before the priest, the high priest here, and he come in here all dirty for handling them animals. Somebody might have pulled him and said, you didn't get to take a shower or nothing. They told me to come right in. What you want me to do? I'm out there handling animals. This ain't like you guys. Y'all get to dress and look clean. Salakli Cohane. What you needed? And so now, Yah is going to tell him, that's the one. I'm not looking for outward appearances. He might be ruddy and rough looking, but his ruach is right. His spirit is what I'm looking at.
And Yah said, arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then Shemuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Most High came mightily upon David from that day forward. So Shemuel rose up and went to Ramah.
That act that took place caused the Spirit of Yah to come on him. And it's amazing how one incident in your life, in any one of our lives, could change us as a person. And so what Shemuel did by anointing him brought the Ruach of the Creator, the Spirit of the Most High, on him. So going forward from that day, his zeal for the Most High developed. It started growing and building him, and to the point where he became fearless. And so here now, history continues. But as one man rises, another one declines.
Wow.
Now
the Spirit of Yah had departed from Shaul, and an evil spirit from Yah terrified him.
So the Creator now moves his spirit from Saul. He's now with David, but he does something else to Saul. Yah can make wise men go mad. When we don't find ourselves walking in the right path and doing the right things before the Creator, in spite of how wise you are, the Creator can make you and I become fools. And what he did to Saul is, he made Saul an evil spirit. Negative energy just started moving with him from this point. Whereas he may have been someone known to be positive, doing good things, now all of a sudden he's changed. And he doesn't know where this is coming from, but this is the hand of the Creator, because he's chosen this path of negativity. So the Creator said, this is what you want, then wallow in it. This is what Yah can do to any one of us. We decide we want to do one wrong thing, build on a lie, dwell on a lie, become a liar, consistently doing this and following this negative path. So what the Creator will do is he say, you've chosen that path, I'm going to make you become that and worse.
Wow.
And that's going to be who you are from this point going forward. Because you're not trying to change. You're not seeking to become a better individual. So I'll have you continue in that path and become worse. And this is what's happening with Saul.
And Shaul's servant said unto him, behold now, an evil spirit from Elohim terrified me.
They noticed it. They saw him, man. Every little thing he's snapping about. What you said? See, I saw Melech, and I come. Can you what? Can you attack? No. He didn't even let him finish saying what he was saying. So now his servants realized it. They said, listen, Saul, we have to be honest with you. An evil spirit is on you, brother. You need to change your ways. You know how people approach you, Sneaker, Aki, you wrong. You need to change your ways. You think something's wrong with them. You think they're the problem when you're the problem. And it reads,
let our Lord now command thy servants that are before thee to seek out a man who's a skillful player of the harp. And it shall be when the evil spirit from Elohim cometh upon thee, that he shall play with his hand. Thou shalt be well.
So, music soothes the heart.
That's right.
Music soothes the soul. They said, listen here, we got something for you. When you get in these moments, we're going to bring you in a quiet room, and we're going to find somebody to just play a harp. Some nice soothing music, and let you just sit there, calm yourself down, and just meditate. And this is what they did.
And Shaul said unto his servants, provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him.
Don't just bring me anybody. You better be able to play good. Calm me down. I'm not the problem. You're the problem. So now they find someone.
Then answered one of the young men and said, behold, I have seen the son of Yishai, the Bethlehemite, that is skillful in playing, and a mighty man of valor, and a man of war, and prudent in affairs, and a comely person, and Yah is with him. Wherefore Shaul sent messengers unto Yishai, and said, send me Dawid, thy son, who is with the sheep. And Yishai took a camor laden with bread, and a bottle of wine and a kid, and sent them by Dawid, his son, to Shaul. And Dawid came to Shaul and stood before him. He loved him greatly, and he became his armor bearer. And Shaul sent to Yishai, saying, let Dawid, I pray thee, stand before me, for he hath found favor in my sight. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from Elohim was upon Shaul, that Dawid took the harp and played with his hand. So Shaul found relief, and it was well with him, and the evil spirit departed from him.
So this was a way that the Creator helped him temporarily be able to harness his insanity. When that music was played, it would calm him down temporarily and put him back in a certain place where he was functionable. And this was all the hand of the Creator, because the Most High was having him go that route so that the kingdom could be stripped from him and given to Dawid. We're going to see if we can fit one more chapter in here before closing out. And it reads, 1 Samuel, the 17th chapter, in the first verse.
Now the Philistines gathered together their armies to battle, and they were gathered together at Soko, which belonged to Yehudah, and pitched between Soko and Azekah and Ephes Damim. And Shaul and the men of Israel were gathered together and pitched in the valley of Eliel, and set the battle in array against the Philistines. And the Philistines stood on the mountain on the one side, and Israel stood on the mountain on the other side. And there was a valley between them.
So now you have both armies, word got out, listen, we're going to be fighting against one another. These armies, they had what you call a battleground, where they would know, okay, we're not going completely on your territory, neither are we going to come over to your territory. We're going to meet in the middle, and this is where we're going to fight. And this valley is in between them, separating both armies. And so the Philistines, they're standing on one side, and the Israelites standing on the other side, and they can both see one another, and everybody's talking smack to one another. What you gonna do? They over there, we over here. You know, you getting yourselves ready. You shouting your battle cries. The army, they are captain of the host is over here. What are we going to do? Take them out. What are we going to do? Everybody jumping and shouting. And when they finish the Philistines, they have their hooray cry. The Philistines, what are we going to do? That's what's going on right now. Everybody's hyping themselves up, getting ready for this fight, but nobody has an attack yet. Sometimes the hyping could go on for a day or two, 3 or 4 days. Exactly, just talking a bunch of junk. Everybody's getting ready. What? Come across. You come across. You'll come down. You come down. You know, it's just a lot of talk. Everybody's just talking a bunch of smack, getting ready for this, but nobody's coming over yet. So this is where we are. But what's happening now is the Philistines, they have somebody that they're going to send out. And it reads,
"And there went out a champion from the camp of the Philistines, named Eliel, whose height was 6 cubits in the span. And he had a helmet of brass upon his head, and he was clad with a coat of mail. And the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass. And he had greaves of brass upon his legs, and a javelin of brass between his shoulders. And the shaft of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and his spear's head weighed 600 shekels of iron. And his shield bearer went before him. And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, Why do ye come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and ye servants to Shaul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. If he be able to fight with me and kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall ye be our servants and serve us."
So what happens now, when they all talking this nonsense, the Philistines, all of a sudden, they just separate. And you just see this huge guy come walking. Israel just start talking about it. Is that a real man standing up there? Because this guy now, he's standing like 9, 10 feet tall.
Right.
This is not the average brother standing up. This is a giant standing up 9, 10 feet tall. And Israel's side just got quiet. They all looking. So now he starts speaking. Okay, you was just doing all the talking, right? You come. You have something to say, you come. Anybody who want to try this, come on over. We'll settle this right now. You send your greatest warrior, I stand and represent the Philistines. And whoever win, the other army serve us.
Yep.
Israel quiet now, nobody saying. You quiet over here, huh? He might bluff like he's about to come running over. Israel, take off running. Run back. Our security line break, and everybody go running back. That's what happened. You're gonna see, they're gonna say. And they fled before him whenever he came out. What just? Felt like he's coming over. Disperse! Then when he moved back, we come bringing our line back to the So now he had us like this for a few days. We scared. Nobody don't want to come out. Every time he's coming up there, he's taunting and threatening us, cursing the Creator, disrespecting us. This is going on for some time, and we're afraid because we realize no one's brave enough to go out and challenge him.
And the Philistines said, I do taunt the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. And when Shaul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistine, they were dismayed, greatly afraid. Now David was the son of that Ephrathite of Beit Lechem in Yehuda, whose name was Shishai. And he had 8 sons. And the man was an old man in the days of Shaul, stricken in years among men. And the 3 eldest sons of Yishai had gone out to Shaul to the battle. And the names of his 3 sons that went out to battle was Eliel, the firstborn. And next to him was Abinadab. And the third was Shema. And David was the youngest. And the 3 eldest followed Shaul. Now David went to and fro from Shaul to feed his father's sheep at Beit Lechem. And the Philistines drew near morning and evening, and presented himself
for 40 days. 40 days this is going on. Imagine this. This is nonsense. 40 days this is going on. Now, mind you, David now, he's the youngest brother. All of his older brothers, they're a part of the army.
Right.
So they're over there with Saul and the other soldiers, And Dawid would randomly be sent by his father to bring them food, bring them water, little rations and things that they would need. Because when you're at war, remember, they were out on a battlefield. They couldn't just come home as they chose to, as they wanted to. You had to stay out there, camp out there. You were living out there for some days. And when the war was over, then you went back home to your families. Just like war today. You find if there's a war in Iraq or wherever, these soldiers are gone sometimes for months, sometimes for years, away from their families before they can return. And so Dawid now, he would have to go back and forth. But here, Israel, we're afraid of these Philistines, and this guy is coming out day after day. We there sleeping at night. Hey, Israelites! We jump up, we look. He back again. Everybody's peeking and looking. What are we going to do? It's either we fight this guy, or eventually these Philistines are going to come on over. They're not going to keep standing on the other side of that valley. Sooner or later, they're going to come over and attack us because they realize we're afraid to face their champion.
And Yishai said unto Dawid his son, take now for thy brethren an ephah of parched corn, and these 10 loaves, and carry them quickly to the camp to thy brother. And bring these 10 cheeses unto the captain of their 1,000. And to thy brethren shalt thou bring greetings, and take their pledge. Now Shaul and they, and all the men of Israel, are in the bow of Eliel, fighting with the Philistines. And Dawid rose up early in the morning, and left the sheep with the keeper, and took and went, as Yishai had commanded him. And he came to the barricade, and as the host which was going forth to the fight shouted for the battle. And Israel and the Philistines put the battle in array, army against army. And Dawid left his baggage in the hand of the keeper of the baggage, and ran to the army, and came and greeted his brother.
So Dawid now, as he gets there, everybody's getting ready to go back and square off like they've been doing for the last 40-something days, but nobody's fighting. So he look and he see Israel, they getting themselves ready, because at any time you have to be ready. You don't know when those Philistines are going to come running over. So they had to get up and be ready to fight just in case today was that day. So now they walk over to the front, and Dawid see them all walking over to the battle to set the battle in array. He goes running over to see what's going on. He's young. He's a young man. He's anxious. He's excited. Wow, I never saw a battle. I want to know what this is like. But look what happens.
And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the ranks of the Philistines, and spoke according to the same words. And Dawid heard them. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and were so afraid.
They ran off because he did one of those bluffs again. What you said? And everybody took off running back. And Dawid is standing, what's going on with you all? It's like, man, where y'all running from here? You know, he's saying this, and they looking at him like, what's this young guy talking like this, talking all this stuff like he ain't afraid. So you know us, when everybody see him talking like he's tough and he ain't scared of Goliath, the word got back. Somebody said, oh, that guy's a tough guy. Hey, you saw that? He didn't run. Everybody else ran. He didn't run. What's his name? What's his name? Words start passing around. I don't know what somebody said. Yeah, he Eliel and them brother. Eliel and them brother. He one of the sons of Yishai. Yeah, he one of the sons of Yishai. Word starts moving around. This young guy, one of the sons of Yishai, he's talking a lot of stuff about Goliath. He's not afraid of the giant. Watch how this goes, turn sheet.
And the man of Israel said, have you seen this man that has come up? Surely to taunt Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. And Dawid spoke to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the taunt from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should have taunted the armies of the living Elohim?
So Dawid is talking this way because the spirit of Yah is on him. He a different energy, and Ruach is on him. It's not the same young Dawid that his brothers knew from back in the day as their little brother who was there handling the sheep, the little shepherd boy. He's talking because the spirit of Yah has come on him ever since that time when Shemuel anointed him. And he's not afraid of this because he sees something beyond just the size of this man standing in front of you. He's saying to himself, this man is disrespecting Yah. You hear what he's saying about our power, our creator?
Right.
These other men, I hear what he's saying. Look at his size, bro. They speaking from a human perspective.
Right.
They speaking from someone, but by an individual who's just thinking of the way a normal person would think. He's thinking on a whole nother level. He see beyond this man standing up in front of me. His zeal for the Creator won. He has a love for the Creator to the point where he's not prepared to have no one disrespect y'all, in spite of how big, strong, or tall you are. And this is all he see. So for them, they don't understand why he could be speaking in such a manner against this giant. David's not viewing it from that perspective. Time sheet.
And the people answered him after this manner, saying, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him.
So word is getting around. You're a brave brother. Somebody probably told him, don't be afraid of this guy. Because remember, he's short. They all looking down. Don't be afraid of this guy. He ain't nothing. He ain't nothing. Yeah, you're saying that now. You a little short guy talking all this nonsense. I'm telling you, have to fear Yah, you know.
Right.
And they all looking at him. Yeah. The word is getting around. Word got back to Saul. They got this little short guy in there in the camp. He's talking a lot of tough stuff. So let me see who he is. Time sheet.
And Eliel, his oldest brother, heard when he spoke unto the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David and said, why hast thou come down? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy presumptuousness, and the naughtiness of thy heart. For thou art come down that thou mayest see the battle. And David said, what have I now done? Was it not but a word?
He said, so Eliel, this is his older brother. He's seeing his little brother here. He's not seeing this new Ruach or this new spirit of the Creator that's grown on this man. He thinks this is his little brother being presumptuous. You coming out here and talking all this nonsense. You trying to rev up the crowd here. Go back home and deal with the sheep. You creating problems for us. Plus he's making them look bad. These are his oldest brothers. They were running back there with the rest of the brothers when they all took off running when Goliath said, hey! Boom! Everybody took off running. Eliab and them took off running too. And when they all took off running, little short, David, what? I'm not moving. Eliab, David, come here. You're making us look bad, Aki. What you doing over here talking all of this stuff? You need to be home taking care of the sheep. All I said was I'm not afraid of him. He turns off now and starts talking to somebody else.
Yeah. And he turned away from him toward another and spoke after the same
So he
manner.
keeps talking this smack. He's like, I'm not scared. Eliab, it's not about you, Aki. It's not about you. Anyway, Goliath he has no right talking about the Creator like that.
That's right.
Word is going to get back to Saul now, because by now, a lot of people in the camp is hearing this.
That's right. And the people answered him after the former manner. And when the words were heard which David spoke, they rehearsed them before Shaul, and he was taken to him. And David said unto Shaul, let no man's heart fail within him. Thy servant will go and fight this Philistine. And Shaul said unto David, thou art not able to go fight against this Philistine. Thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he is a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Shaul, thy servant kept his father's sheep. And when there came a lion or a bear, and took the lamb out of the flock, I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. Thy servant smote both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he hath taunted the armies of the living Elohim.
This is his faith and trust in Yah. That's that Ruach and that spirit that's speaking that came on him when Samuel or Shemuel anointed him. That's what's speaking here. Now, they're listening to this, and Saul is looking like, this little short guy here, right? Saul is like, you can't go fight this Philistine, but Saul also has some loose screws. So Saul is like, you know what, he's talking tough. Let's see what he might be able, you know. You never know. You never know, you know what I'm saying? And you would think somebody who was thinking rationally would say, there's no way we sending this little guy out here to fight this guy. Let us get together and we're going to go to battle as a team.
Right.
So there's a few loose screws. You just might be able to pull it off. You just might be able to. He's hoping on a prayer. You might be able to. This is all the hand of the Creator this matter too, because the Creator is going to prove to them that in spite of all of their doubt, I'm involved in this matter. And if I can grant this man victory, who all odds are against, you'll see that my hand can make anything happen or anything transpire as long as I put my hand in the matter and I bless that person. And so this is a test also for us, so that we could see the Creator's hand involved in this matter as well, with all odds against this man here. And when you compare his size to Goliath, there was no match. This was no match. But Saul now is going to say, well, okay, let's put on some armor on him. Let's get him ready for battle. Watch how this works out.
And David said, Yah have delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear. He will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Shaul said unto David, go, and Yah shall be with thee. And Shaul clad David with his apparel, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head, and he clad him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his apparel, and he assayed to go, but could not, for he had not tried it.
So they probably all stand up inside and they're cracking up. Look at him. This is a clown show. Now they getting him ready for the fight. They said, listen, we got to get you ready for battle. Now, come get rid of stuff. Put on a robe, put on a big old thing. The chest plate is hanging all down to his knees. And it's supposed to be fitting in here, it's coming all down there. He put on a coat of mail, it's dragging on the ground. I'm ready to go do this. Clothes all big and solid, look like he's wearing robes. He could barely maneuver and fight. And they looking at him, and you better believe Saul's people probably at the back there cracking up. Yeah, I knew Saul was a little cuckoo. You gonna send that guy out there dressed like a clown to fight this giant. Ain't no way he's winning this fight. So they all looking at him, and David's gonna be like, you think David didn't notice them looking and laughing? I'll be saying, man, I can't wear all of this stuff. Look at them laughing at me over there. I'm not used to this.
Right.
Because he know that this armor is not what's going to protect him. Right. The Creator's going to protect him. He can go out there with all of that armor. When it's all said and done, if Yah is not with you, right, you're not going to be protected.
That's right.
And so he took that off because his faith and trust is not in that armor. It's in Yah. So that didn't matter. He could go out there with just his sling and his stone.
And David said unto Shaul, do not go with these, for I have not tried them. And David put them off him. And he took his staff in his hand, and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in the shepherd's bag which he had, even in his whip. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine.
So he comes out there now, come walking out there with his sling and his stone, and he come walking out with a staff in his hand.
That's right.
And the Philistines, they separated out of their circle, and Goliath come walking out. All the Israelites move aside, and here comes this little short guy come walking. Philistines over there looking. They all look at one another, and they bust out laughing at him. They see this little short guy come. They sending him to fight. Goliath's gonna check again. He's gonna walk up to David to make sure. Let me see if is this a game they playing here with me, or are they really gonna send this guy to fight? Look at how this happens.
And the Philistine came nearer and nearer to David.
He had to check him out.
And the man that bore the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth and ruddy, with all fair countenance.
So not only was Goliath upset, but he felt like you're going to send a young boy, and on top of that, he looks cute. He's supposed to look rough, like he done been to 5 or 6 battles. Some cuts across the face or something. You know, he's supposed to look busted up a little because he coming to fight. I would think he would have some battle scars, some marks on him. So Goliath is upset here. He like, this is total disrespect. But to his mistake, he now not only starts disrespecting Dawid, but he starts disrespecting his creator, his power. He starts cursing Yah. So he now, you know how some people, when they become upset, they start insulting you, then they insult your mother? That's what happened here. Yeah, such and such and such. And your mama's so and so too. Which, how'd she get into the name here? How'd she get involved here? We have to learn how to control ourselves, because when we lose control of ourselves because we're angry, we find ourselves saying anything, doing anything, becoming disrespectful to people who aren't even a part of the situation. And this is what happens with Goliath. He now puts himself in a worse situation here, because not only did he disrespect Dawid, he disrespects his creator as well.
And the Philistine said unto Dawid, my dog, thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed Dawid by his deity. And the Philistine came to Dawid, and the Philistine said to Dawid, come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. Then said Dawid to the Philistine, thou comest to me with the sword, and with the spear, and with the javelin, but I come to thee in the name of Yah of hosts, the Elohim of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast taunted. This day will Yah deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee, and I will take thy head from off thee, and I will give the carcasses of the hosts of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a power in Israel.
So Dawid now,
Yes, sir.
what he's doing here now, he's invoking the name of Yah in this matter. This battle is not between him and this Philistine. This battle is between them and the Creator. And we have to see what's happening here. A lot of times we think when we get into disputes or arguments with one another, we believe that it's about one another. Right. It's about how we treat one another before the Creator. Right. This is about how we deal with one another as family, as brothers and sisters. Here, Dawid is invoking the name of the Creator in this matter because he wanted to show the Philistines and Israel that this man, in spite of how huge or how big he is, the Creator, with Yah, anything's possible.
That's right.
And Yah is going to prove to you all and this Philistine and these Philistine armies this day that you're not going to disrespect him or his people and get away with it.
And that all this assembly may know that Yah saveth not with gun, with sword, or spear, for the battle is Yah, and he will give you into our hand.
And so this here now, he's giving Yah the glory. He's not taking the glory from this battle or from this victory. From the inception, he gives the Creator the glory and the praise, and Yah now is going to give him victory.
That's right. And it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet Dawid, that Dawid hastened and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine.
This Philistine Goliath is shocked at this point. Dawid is over there and they talking, and all of a sudden this little short guy just comes sprinting forward towards him. Is this guy out of his mind? I should be the one attacking. He's on the attack. Little short guy comes running over Goliath like, I'm a bearer. You see what's happening? Is he running towards us? Get ready. We have to get ready for this little guy. He comes sprinting over towards Goliath because he's not afraid. And look what happens.
And Dawid put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slung it and smote the Philistine in his forehead. And the stone sank into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. So Dawid prevailed over the Philistine with the sling and with the stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of Dawid.
So that stone is what killed Goliath. Afterwards, then you'll see Dawid is going to take off his head. But this was all a hand of the Creator, because in spite of all of his armor, somehow there must have been an opening on his helmet where that one little opening, the Creator allowed that stone to hit him right there in that deadly spot, and that's what took his life.
That's right.
And so now he falls down. The Philistines are watching. What happened there? I know he didn't just sling that stone and hit him. What on earth? Listen, a couple of seconds and Goliath laying out on the ground. They wouldn't know what's going on. That giant is laid out, and this little guy come walking over him and pulling his sword. Is this really happening here? These Philistines are shocked. Israel is shocked. Yeah, he got lucky. This is luck. They ain't even giving the Creator praise. This is the hand of Yah. Yeah, now we got lucky. Saul probably, I knew that little guy was going to get lucky. As cuckoo and crazy as he is, you send this little young guy out here. This is all the hand of Yah in this matter. Showing them, and also not just showing them that he could give victory to us by the hand of this youth, but that this man who does this, who commits this act in slaying Goliath, is going to be the very one that gains the favor and the trust of the people.
And David ran and stood over the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof and slew him and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw that their mighty man was dead, they fled.
They took off running.
The men of Israel and of Yehudah arose and shouted and pursued the Philistines till thou comest to Giah, to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way to Sharim, even unto Gath and unto Ekron. And the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines. They spoiled their camp. And David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem. But he put his armor in his tent.
So David now, after slaying Goliath, he cuts off his head. When the Philistines look and see Goliath laid out, they all take off running. And that's when we get courage. Charge! And the Israelites take off running behind him. David is walking around now with Goliath's head in his hand. What I told you? What I told you ain't nothing. Trust in Yah. Trust in Yah. He told him his head. Trust in the Creator. He's walking around with Goliath's head all of this time. Even when he go before Saul, he's going to still have Goliath's head in his hand. He's hyping them up, amping Israel up, and we chasing these Philistines, but they think this man is showing off. It's his zeal for the Creator, because he trusts in the Creator, and he knew that he was going to be victorious all along. That's
right. And when Shaul saw David go forth against the Philistine, he said to Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is this? Whose son is this youth? And Abner said, thou soulest, O king, I cannot tell you.
I know.
The king said, inquire thou whose son the stripling is. And David returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, and Abner took him and brought him before Shaul with the head Philistine in his hand.
So he comes before Saul. He's still moving around, and he has Goliath's head still in his hand while he's talking. I told you, I trust in the Creator. Right. Trust in Yah, Israel. Look, he's nothing, he's just a man. That's right. Now he comes before Saul. Abner, remember, who is Abner to Saul? Y'all know? He's not just the captain of the host. Him and Saul are cousins, exactly. We have to give you the history about what's going on here. Abner and Saul are cousins, which is why later on the Creator is not going to have Abner be the captain of the host. This is all Saul's family, so he cannot allow Saul's family to take control of the throne or even have access to the throne to that point, because a decree was made that Saul and his family are not going to lead Israel. Which is why Yehonatan couldn't even be a part of this here. You have to see behind what's going on. But Abner now, he go and find out whose son David is, and he brings David to Saul, and David still has Goliath's head in his hand.
And Shaul said unto him, whose son art thou, thou young man? David answered, I am the son of thy servant, Yishai, Bethlehem.
So he lets them know, I'm Jesse's son. I'm Yishai's band, and we trust in Yah in this house. All of the time, the people are watching all of this. Israel is seeing this. They're gaining his favor. They're trusting in him. They see that Yah is with him. Now, they're starting to love him more than Saul and trust that he could lead them as opposed to their existing king. This is the hand of the Creator in this matter, causing David now to be pushed to the front and gain the favor of the people. All glory be to the creator and maker of heaven and earth. We're going to continue our history later on. If you would, do y'all the honor of standing, giving thanks to Yah. Giving thanks to Yah for blessing us with such history, to the information that he left on record, to share with us, to give us understanding, to teach us, and to help us learn from those positive images that we have in our nation. Let us join our voices to even sing the song Baruch Hashem. Then we're going to utter the words of the final prayer on page 12 in our song, on page 11, Slika, in our songbooks. Baruch Hashem Shel Yahovah. Baruch Hashem Shel Yahovah. Baruch Hashem Shel Yahovah. Baruch Hashem Shel Yahovah.
When I wake up in the morning, I keep my chin up to the day. Oh, I say, oh, so great, I got to wait and say, I just can't wait. Oh, I can sing, oh, I can sing, oh, man. I'm not there, I'm not there. Well, now, Baruch Hashem, El Yahovah. Baruch Hashem, El Yahovah. Baruch Hashem, El Yahovah.
Let us utter the words of our final prayer on page 11 in our Siddur. Sacrifices and meal offerings are not found in our hands. Father of mercy, let thy law standeth firm. Accept the words of our lips and the murmurings of our hearts. Receive our prayers in mercy and in favor. Grant us joy and gladness. Comfort thy people. Yahweh answer thee in a day of trouble. The name of the power of Israel set thee up on high. Draw us not away, Yah, with the wicked, for our delight is in thy word.
Let thy word heal us and cause us to prosper. Cause thy wisdom to blanket Israel. Let the visions of the righteous be our lot. Yea, even the dreams of thy redeemed our good fortune. Draw us with cords of love, and let our borders be truth. Into thy hand I commit my spirit. All praises unto thee, O Yah. We have thought of thy loving kindness. We rejoice in the house of Yah. Come behold the works of Yah and rejoice in the same. For he has rescued his people Israel. He has called forth the dispersed of Yaakov. He caused his righteousness to stand where calamity was. For such is our power forever and ever. He will be our guide henceforth eternally. Sing his praises aloud. Hallelujah. Shema. Israel. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Almighty Yah, our protector, our deliverer, our redeemer, power of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Israel, even our power. We glorify your name, great King. We acknowledge you as our power, as our Savior, as the creator and maker of heaven and earth. We give thanks unto thee, O Yah, for another peaceful Shabbat day. We know that peace is not guaranteed to us, Almighty King. When we hear of so many places of worship, so many churches and other places where people are calling upon gods that are no gods, you allow things to happen. Individuals decide they're going to take lives by entering with guns and just shooting the place up. Yet here we stand in perfect peace. Yet here we stand able to call upon your name, shielded and protected from such dangers. You allowed us to enjoy another Shabbat day. You allowed us and our families to go to and fro safely throughout this past week, blessing us and sparing our lives to live to see a new month. Granting us peace, love, and joy, allowing our families to unite and even be able to discuss ways on uniting and coming together to serve the power of this universe, to better our lives in glorifying your name, to grow and develop in praise to you, the power of this universe, to see ourselves become better servants of thine, to see and allow ourselves to unite even in praising your name on your holy appointed seasons. You've allowed our brothers and sisters from Chester to come here with us today, shielding and protecting and watching over their families there in South Carolina, watching over the families throughout the Caribbean islands this day. You continue to shield them. You, O Heavenly Father, allowed so many of our loved ones to travel safely back to Guyana without any harm befalling anyone, bringing so many of us together and allowing us to separate in perfect peace, in good health and strength,
Truly, you are a prayer-hearing power. You are a living power. You are a power of your word. You proclaim, O Yah, that in the lands whither we have been scattered, if we return to you, you will return to us. We see your hand in our lives. We see your hand in this earth, awakening our families time and time again, giving us more and more understanding as we grow closer to you, as we seek to change and do the better thing before you, our Creator. We pray that you would continue to restore to us our culture in its entirety. The many things that we lost because we strayed from you. The many things that you stripped from us as it relates to our knowledge and understanding of you and your law. Restore it to us, O Yah, again. And give us once again that title as the people that would represent you, a nation of priests. Help us each day as we go, as we face the many challenges that life has to offer. In these lands of our captivity with so much negativity and evil around us, we pray that you would be our guide, that you would be our protector, that you would be our light, that you would be the power and the one who take us through the trying times, O Most High. We trust in you, O Yah. We pray, great King, that you would remember each and every one of us and our family and loved ones near and far. As we approach this new week, O Father, we pray that you would give us your protection, that you would grant us your help, your blessings, that you would guide us even with the decisions that we make as individuals in our lives, that you would watch over the children when they go out and come in, that you would hear and answer our prayers, O merciful King. We ask that you would heal those that are ill and are in need of healing, O Most High. That you would remember our elders and strengthen them, great King. That you would remember our leaders in the many four corners of this earth and the communities and families that are striving to serve you and walk in the right path. Give them understanding so that they guide and lead us in the right path. Give our men and women strength, O Yah, mental, physical, as well as spiritual strength. Forgive us, please, merciful Father, for anything that we have done to offend thee, to anger thee, for the times that our forefathers and mothers provoked you to anger, the things that we've done to cause you to put us in the situation that we're in today. We ask that you would forgive us, O Yah, and even see our efforts to change, see our efforts and our desire to better ourselves, see our efforts to do the things that are right and pleasing before you, Father, and even grant us a blessing for such, O Most High. To you, great King, do we give all praises, all glory, all honor, for you are due of such. Blessed be your high and holy name, O Yah, now and forevermore. We pray that you would even hear and even accept this prayer as we join our voices in the language of our forefathers, the Hebrew tongue, even as we bless your name, as we say, Baruch Yehovah Baruch Baruch Yehovah Bezoharai, Baruch Yehovah Be'erev, Baruch Yehovah Belayla, Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yehovah Tamid, Yehovah Eloheinu B'Vakusha, Lishloach Lanu Lekol Debarim Ra'im She'asinu Lefanecha Yom Yom, V'lehiyot Imanu Kol Halayla Hazeh, Lema'an Shemcha Yehovah, Elohei Avraham, Yitzchak V'Yisrael, Elohei Avoteinu Eli, Lishmoa Bekolina, Im Tereseotka, Lema'an Shemcha Yehovah. Hallelujah! 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 Yochai! 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 Sila, Shema. O Shema Israel, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu. O Shema Israel, Yahovah Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Yahovah Echad. O Baruch all this universe. Bless each and every one of you according to the words of this blessing, found in Numbers, the 6th chapter, and the 24th verse. I have not the power to bless. I'm only uttering the words. Yah, our King, He it is that gives each and every one of you, of us, a blessing. May He bless you according to these words. Yivarek ka Yehovah, v'yishmereka. Ya'ir Yehovah panayu aleka v'kuneka. Yisa Yehovah panayu aleka v'yasim leka. Shalom. Yehovah bless thee and keep thee. Yehovah cause His face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yehovah lift up His countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Hallelujah. We have a few announcements you like tonight. So,